Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video of Foxflix on Prog Magic. Today, we're gonna watch as he creates a bird Pokemon of every type. Well, excluding any ones that are already made, which, as far as I know, is only normal and flying. So, let's see what new Route 1 birds he can create.
Almost every region in Pokemon has some form of bird you can catch in the early section of the game, with most being normal flying type. But we have also received these early root birds with unique type combos. So what would an
Only
early
two.
root bird of every type look like?
We have Fire and Steel, now we need everything else.
Hey everyone, Brandon here. The early root or regional bird has been a staple in the Pokemon franchise since its inception, but Pokemon like Talonflame and Corviknight took the concept of early root birds and elevated them to a new level, both in design and in the fact that they gained a type combo that wasn't the
Instead of keeping them normal flying.
standard normal flying. There are 6 type combinations that the regional birds have had. Obviously normal flying like I just mentioned, fire flying with Talonflame, flying steel with Corviknight, and even pure flying with Rookidee and Corvisquire.
Oh, cool.
Water flying with Wingull and Pelipper, and yes, those do count. They're actually catchable before Talo in Gen 3 and 6.
Oh,
and
yeah.
finally, flying electric with Wattrel and Kilowattrel. Though they are more so early game birds, since the earliest they can be found is near Levincia, which,
True.
because of Paldea's open world, can be the second gym. And if you want to open up the world of your internet browser, you
Okay.
can, thanks to today's sponsor, Opera GX.
We're gonna take a small cut, and we're back. Let's go.
Get back into it. I know there are probably some of you out there that want a traditional, no caveats, electric type early root bird. So I present the early root birds of my India-based Fakemon region, Devar, Baybil, Shakapak, and Homrain, which I
Ooh,
worked with
not
PokeJamon
bad.
to create. They are based on different kinds of hornbills. The gray Indian hornbill, the oriental pied hornbill, and the great hornbill, respectively. If you want to
Not
learn more
bad.
about them, then you can check out this video linked in the card. Next up, we have a couple from my friend Michael Ryan. First up, we have the Psychic type. So here is
Ooh.
Chibi from Michael's Africa-inspired Liwika region. Chibi at this point is only pure flying, but will gain the typing upon evolution, as most early root birds do. Chibi is inspired
that's
by the
common.
African sacred ibis, which is not called sacred for nothing. Why will become apparent as we take a look at Chibi's evolutions in Quibus and Thothesis. Their typing and Thothesis' name
Okay.
are inspired by the ibis-headed Egyptian god of wisdom, knowledge, and magic, Thoth. He is also a
Not
god
bad.
of science, art, and writing, which Thothesis is also heralded for, and is where the thesis part of its name comes from. Next, for the
Nice.
ice type, we have Arcturn from Michael's Iceland-inspired Firen region. It is inspired by the Arctic tern found all over the Arctic regions of the Northern Hemisphere. Arcturn can
okay.
withstand frigid Arctic winds. They will travel in flocks across Firen in search of a place to nest, until they're ready to evolve into Hakryo. This Pokemon is
it's a
inspired by
hawk.
some of the hawk species found around Iceland, and the wind generated from its wings can frost the ground below. Finally,
Ooh.
Hakryo evolves into Gyrfalcold. Gyrfalcold's name and design are inspired by the national animal of Iceland, the Gyrfalcon. Gyrfalcold is
bad.
also pretty obviously inspired by the Greek mythological beast, the griffin,
Oh,
which
yeah.
makes sense given griffins are said to come from the north, and Gyrfalcon is the largest falcon in the world. The
Ta-da.
mere flap of Gyrfalcold's mighty wings can cause fierce blizzards, and it is said to be strong enough to lift icebergs. If you would like to learn more about these Pokemon and the Firen region, make sure to check out Michael's YouTube channel linked in the description. Moving on to the
A
grass
lot of good mons so far.
type, we have T-Peep and Tribeak from the US West Coast-based Wesco region, which are based on turkeys and Native American clothing. T-Peep are very
Okay.
friendly and easy to take care of, though since they are young, they can be a bit clumsy. Tribeak tend to be very lax in the wild. Inexperienced trainers who catch them as Tribeak find difficulty motivating them to act. It is advised to train and evolve your T-Peep rather than catch wild Tribeak. But a well-trained Tribeak will evolve into Poultry. These
Ooh.
Pokemon govern the flora of Wesco.
Okay, now that one I actually really like, because now it looks more like a talkie, but it also has the head crest and color of a Native American chieftain.
If an area is abundant with plant life, that means a strong poultry resides there, and is a sign that the land is very fertile. The name of this bird is just so punny, and I love it. From one West Coast-based region to another, for the fairy
Hold on, folks, I'll be right back. And we're back.
type, we have Pitafel from the Mojave region by Tubbs AZ. This Pokemon is based on the Gamble's quail found in the southwestern US. Pitafel
It's
is
cute.
always trying to stay out of sight. Its plumage is very sensitive and can detect the slightest sign of danger. Pitafel evolve into Pomplume. The once woeful, sorry Pitafel
Look at
has
that, it's
gained quite the
laughing.
ego. In fact, that's Pomplume's classification, the ego Pokemon. They take great pride in their vibrant, meticulously clean feathers, leading them to have a high and mighty personality. This is only further accentuated when they evolve into Regaliant.
Oh,
Upon
yeah.
evolution, Regaliant adds in the additional inspiration of the
It looks like it's wearing a suit now. Not bad.
Californian quail, as well as Regalia, aka the fancy clothes that royal people wear.
Ah,
Regaliant's
okay.
feathers are so pristine that they glimmer brightly in the sunlight. How's that for a dazzling gleam? It has a very
Ha,
uptight
true.
personality, especially when it comes to its plumage, always stopping to fix it no matter what the situation. Continuing
Oh dear,
What
oh
if you
dear.
could do
Oh,
SEO?
cut. And we're back. Let's go.
to Tubbs' new grease-based
There we go.
region, Agoros, representing the dark type, we have Swabling. It is based on the common kingfisher and a swab, which is the lowest rank of pirate on a ship.
Ah,
You can see the
okay.
swab elements in its bandana-like plumage and stripe across its chest. Swabling is very adept in the sea, able to collect mouthfuls of fish with ease. It has a very keen
Nice.
eye and can spot shining objects over the horizon. Swabling evolves into Swashbeakler, which is inspired by the bird species the crake. I have been avoiding mentioning
okay.
when the bird adds or switches a type for the sake of redundancy, but in this case the entire color palette and design darkens to show the addition of the dark type from this evolution. This darkening
Yeah,
spreads to
yeah,
its
that's clear.
disposition as well, now having an obsession with shiny objects, relentlessly searching for them. It only hunts for
true
food
thief.
out of absolute necessity, but will usually send swablings to get food for it instead. Swashbeakler evolves into Barbaroost. With this final
Ooh.
stage, it becomes a full-fledged bird captain. Barbaroost is inspired by the Black Heron and the very infamous pirate of the Mediterranean, Barbarossa, also
Oh,
known
okay.
as Redbeard. Barbaroost
Oh,
takes charge of
Redbeard.
multiple swabling and swashbeakler to raid unsuspecting boats that enter their territory. Their dark wings cast a looming shadow on its prey before it moves in for the attack. Moving on to the fighting type and yet another West Coast-based region, the Cadia region. Man, if I had a nickel for every time there was a West
You know, how do you actually make a fighting type bird? I'm curious.
Coast-based region in this video, I would have 3 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened 3 times, right? Regardless, Cadia's early game bird line starts with Psychick. It is based on the red-tailed hawk, which is found all across the US, and superhero sidekicks. Much like a sidekick,
yeah.
Psychick will assist its parents in helping those in need. Though they are small, they can defend themselves well, which also refers to the DC hero Robin. At level 18,
Oh, yeah.
Psychick evolves into Vigilon. Now that these
Ooh.
Pokemon are strong enough to be on their own, they go around protecting
It's gonna become an eagle, I can tell.
small Pokemon from other predators or threats, but they can still act recklessly at times. This evolution and personality change refers to how some sidekicks in superhero movies and comics become heroes in their own right, or go rogue like Red Hood. The
Oh,
fact
yeah.
that it's an America-themed avian also references the Marvel hero Falcon stepping into the role of Captain America. And finally,
Oh,
Vigilon
clever.
evolves into Valiero. Now a full-on hero, this Pokemon is highly regarded as the bravest Pokemon species, protecting small Pokemon with their powerful beak and
Okay,
leg.
imagine this now. Valahiro versus a Braviary. Which one is the better American bird?
Eggs, sometimes risking their life to do so. While maybe not intentional, Valiero's plumage is reminiscent of the costume of the DC hero Stargirl. On to
Oh,
something
look
weak
at
in the
that.
fighting type, the rock type. For this, we have Squebble from Dark and Windy. Its typing is actually a pun. It is
Cute.
based on the rock pigeon, so it's literally a rock pigeon. Squebble are often found near rocky areas, pecking at different stones in order to find the ones they like best. They will get into fights if a group tries to take a rock that they want. Squebble evolves into Boldevard. This regal-looking bird is
Damn.
based on the Jacobin pigeon, a type of domestic pigeon that descends from the rock pigeon. Its regal looks make it highly photogenic. The rocks amongst its plumage were collected by Squebble. So I say this every time, but the bug type has always been a thorn in my side when it comes to of every type videos. Especially with this one, as the early root bug is already a thing. So how do you make a bird-bug hybrid that still feels like an early root bird? Well, how about a bird that looks like a bug? Or wait, how about a bug that looks like a bird that looks like a bug? Or why not
What?
both? What am I talking about? The hummingbird and the hummingbird hawk moth. The hummingbird is often said to be
Oh.
bug-like in appearance and nature, and the hummingbird
Okay.
hawk moth looks like said hummingbird. I mean, it's in the name. So, with the artistic talents of Chartius Arts, we created Humoth. This itty-bitty
Okay,
bird
no, that's
Pokemon
cute.
matches the likes of Cutiefly and Joltik in size. It loves to land on the flowers of Floettes, and they enjoy each other's company. They will make nests
Aw.
close to their evolution, Mothok. This evolution adds in the additional inspiration of the Cooper's hawk. It is called the
Ooh.
hummingbird hawk moth after all, so why
Oh,
not
yeah.
fuse them all together?
Duh.
The Cooper's hawk actually has a semi-symbiotic relationship with hummingbirds, as they don't eat them. So hummingbirds will make their nests close to them, because Cooper's hawks do eat the
Okay.
things that try to prey on hummingbirds. So there's an inadvertent guardianship going on there.
I
This
like
is the
it.
same case for Mothawk, who watches over all the nests of the hummoth, keeping them safe from potential predators. Also, it is always trying to obtain Ladybug and Cat Noir's miraculouses. Sorry, wrong franchise. Now for the poison type. We haven't had a poison flying type since Crobat in Gen 2, which
Oh,
I find
wow.
to be criminal. So I took
That
great
is.
pleasure working with ant artist Astray to create Pitoxin. This purple and green clad baby bird is based on one of the few poisonous
You know, I'm kind of glad. Oh, wait, no, I was thinking of a ghost type. Never mind.
birds in the world, the hooded patohui, which is endemic to New Guinea. Patohui have a kind of neurotoxin on their skin and feathers that causes numbness and burning when touched.
Yeah.
This neurotoxin is called homobatrachotoxin and is actually found in Colombian poison dart frogs.
Oh,
They
God.
don't produce this toxin themselves, but it is actually a result of their diet. Back to Patoxin. Much the same as the Patohui, its feathers are very poisonous, being caused by a reaction
Don't
from the
touch it.
berries they eat. Patoxin's toxicity is dependent on the kind of berries that they have consumed. At level 22, Patoxin evolves into Poison. This
Ooh,
deadly Pokemon
okay, no,
is
that's
based on the
good.
Chinese mythological bird, and forgive me if I butcher this, the Zhenao, or more simply, the Zhen. A poisonous bird with purple
Oh,
feathers
yeah.
and green tips, which is what inspired this line's coloration. The Zhen's feathers were said to contain a poison called Zhendu that would be used to carry out assassinations, and that its excrement could dissolve stone. I've heard of explosive diarrhea, but not corrosive diarrhea.
No, bad. Why'd I laugh? Why'd I laugh? No, bad.
And artist
Bad.
Astray and I also modeled it after typical depictions of a phoenix. But rather than being a fire-based bird, it is a poison-based one. Naturally, for the
Oh, hold on, folks. We'll be right back. And we're back.
ground type, it would make sense to have a ground-based bird.
A
So I
Roadrunner?
decided to go with a bird found running around the deserts of the southwestern US. The Roadrunner.
Roadrunner!
With that said, let me introduce you to Terron, which I worked with the talented Subarashi to create. This cute little dude uses its long legs to travel at great speeds and
Yeah!
deliver punishing kicks to its opponents. It will kick up dust storms when it feels threatened, which it uses to escape. Terron have been known to challenge cars to a race if it enters their territory. Terron evolves into Terrian.
Ooh.
This Pokemon's name comes
okay.
from terrain, just like its previous stage, but also
Obviously.
incorporates its new inspiration of the Rhea, a distant relative of the ostrich and emu that hails from South America, but is
Oh,
also the
okay.
name of a Greek goddess, which is an earth goddess of sorts.
Hmm.
Though Rheas are flightless birds, they use their wings to help direct them while running. The appearance that these feathers take while running reminded me of soft clouds. So
Oh,
we
yeah.
made Terrian's wings into dust clouds to represent that.
Yeah,
And
I
yes,
see
it
it.
is a flightless bird that has the flying type, just like the Doduo line, Delibird, and Galarian Zapdos. I also
Okay.
worked with Subarashi for the ghost type, and we both agreed that it had to be
Okay, now for the ghost type, what I was thinking was some kind of like skeleton bod, but that is probably more Digimon territory than actual Pokemon. But let's see what they made.
represented by what Brazilians call the ghost bird, the Potu. These little relatives of the nightjar are nocturnal and let out a very mysterious and haunting call. So with that all
Okay.
in mind, we made Butu. Its general
Oh,
shape
no,
and
that's
plumage
cute.
are meant to reference sheet ghosts. Subarashi thought to add this little triangle-like feather between its eyes to reference the headband or crown that some Japanese ghosts are depicted wearing, called a Tenkan. Butu blends
Tenkan.
into the trees of the jungles they haunt. It will pop out at Pokemon passing by to scare them, which leads to it letting out a haunting chortle. And that laugh only gets more creepy when Butu evolves into Kakui. This
There it
evolution
is.
has gone full-on nightmare mode. The Great Potu has the most creepy-looking jet black eyes that are like something out of an SCP entry.
God.
Kakui's name comes from cackle, as in a sinister laugh, and Kakui.
It literally looks like it doesn't even have eyes. Like those are just divots in its skull. God, that is horrifying.
The Argentinian
Mine would have actually been cuter.
and Bolivian name for the Potu, which means to remain, which is just so ominous. Kakui's
gulp?
disturbing laughter can
Nope.
be heard throughout the jungles it resides in. If a Pokemon or human enters its territory, it will use every tactic it can to terrify them, absorbing and feeding off their fear. Finally, we have the dragon type. When thinking of a dragon bird for this video, my mind went to none other than the famous cockatrice. This chicken-dragon combo
classic.
is found in the Bible, but also in many cultures around the world under different names, like the Japanese Basan and the Basilisco Chilote from Chile. So I worked with the amazing Soy Charlitos to make Chicatrice. This little guy's sad
Aww.
expression refers to how cockatrices would turn things
No, look at that. It's so cute. And it looks so sleepy. Hey, just give him like a little pillow to nap on. Aww.
to stone with its gaze. As far as design, I took inspiration from the cockatrices from Final Fantasy XII, because I've always just loved how bulbous they
That
are.
was cute.
And that game even has something called a Chickatrice as well. Back to the
Oh,
Pokemon
okay.
though. Its scales are always a mess, falling off and being replaced often. This leads to Chickatrice having low self-esteem and therefore looking sad. But it gains a whole lot of
Aw.
self-esteem when it evolves into Gawkatrice.
There it
This
is.
Pokemon has not only gained confidence, but a striking plumage worthy of gawking at, which is where its name comes from. But also, AU is the symbol for gold on the periodic table of elements. Gawkatrice's golden coloration is inspired by a distant relative to wild chickens, the golden pheasant. This bird's
Oh,
coloration lends
not
itself so
bad.
well to a dragon type in my opinion, and the golden pheasant is actually one of China's national birds, alongside the red-crowned crane. Gawkatrice now uses their replaceable
Didn't
scales
know
as a
that.
weapon, spinning around and launching them at opponents. When hit, they will stick in and cause a stunning effect. And
Ooh,
that is an early root
paralyzed.
bird of every type. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.
Well, folks, that's going to be the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed this. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Link will be in the description. I'll see all of you folks next time when we flick on. Peace out.